Hi, just a quick preliminary tour of the February planted winter wheat demo plots down in Cornwall. As I say, these were planted 26th of February. It was really cold. It took them a long time to come up, roughly about 8 weeks. We got photographs of when they first came through. Didn't look too pretty. Clare and Panorama looked good, along with the Istabraq and the Duxford, which is drilled around the outside. That showed great promise to start off with, and then eventually everything else seems to have caught them up. So looking at these two varieties in the foreground, the first one we got at the end there, that is Panorama. It's looking very good. Then we've got our old favourite and stalwart, which is still very popular down here and elsewhere, Clare. Again, looking very good at the moment. Following on from Clare, we've got a new candidate Group 3 variety. This is Zulu. This is from the Vigour program in Europe. It's a Group 3 biscuit maker, currently about 4% higher yielding than Invicta, and about 7% higher yielding than Scout. But this one is the one which showed it was the last really to come through. It looked very thin, really didn't like it at all, it seemed. The only thing I could put it down to is maybe the seed vigour was slightly lower, because obviously it did struggle to leap out the ground, but it's come through now and it's looking very good. Right, moving on from Zulu, this is the Alchemy. Alchemy has actually come through and is looking remarkably good. We did sow all these plots, mind, at 82 kilos to the acre. Mindful to try and get the population up to around about 400 seeds. We wanted to get about 400 seeds established, because obviously with the weather being what it was, we weren't quite sure what it was going to do. So we wanted to make sure we had as many primary ear tillers as possible. And the Alchemy has certainly delivered a few more on top. So that's good to see. We've got nice dense canopy so far, and obviously the yield potential is looking fairly good at the moment. So that's Alchemy. Next door we have Invicta, and we've got a small patch here which came up a bit late. We missed a bit here in the drill, had to drill back over it. But in the main, Invicta is looking promising. It's looking very good. Very clean. All these plots are looking very clean so far. I haven't seen any evidence of blind ears or blind grain sites in the ears. The ears look like they're flowering well, and that was a worry initially. We were concerned whether we were going to get ears. We did put a sieve, as it were, through the selection process when we started out here. We were wary not to be putting in the ground the varieties we knew or had a very good idea would not vernalize. So maybe we were a bit hard on that, but we didn't want to have large parts of the field looking bare or just green and willowy. So we took out quite a few of the well-known varieties like Solstice, Crusoe, which we didn't put in because basically we didn't think they were going to make it from the start. Our breeding crew said don't bother putting it in. So we've gone for the ones which we thought were going to do it in the main. We've put a few which were marginal, Zulu being one of those. We weren't quite sure about that. Evolution was another one. So it was Dunmore. Weren't quite sure about that. But anyway, moving on. So that's Invicta. So moving on from Invicta, we come to Cassius. We grew this variety here 2 years ago in the plots. It didn't cover itself with glory. It's a northeastern mainly variety, or northern variety. It's done okay down here as a second wheat in the past, and that was why I was quite keen to show it, or to try it, just to see what it did. It's got a very short ear, quite fat, short and fat ear. And it didn't do so great the year we had it here because it basically got covered full of disease. and it struggled really. But again, it was one we thought we had it available, so we thought, well, we'll give it a try to see, just to see if it does vernalize and if it comes through. So that's Cassius. Right, the next variety we've got up the list, up the path as it were, this is Gravitas. Gravitas and the variety next door to it, which is Scribe, and we can see here by the colouring of the leaves, these both seem to have been affected the worst so far with the wild oat spray that went on late. It's definitely tipped them, it's definitely caused a yellowing of the leaves, and hopefully we haven't damaged the plant in any way. But yeah, Gravitas and Scribe definitely seem to have been affected, as it were. But, you know, all in all, looking at the size of the ears, Gravitas looks a worthy late driller. I mean, it looks like we can get away with drilling Gravitas late in February. Scribe, this is just coming into ear now. As I say, this originally looked really good. It was really dark. Of all the plots, it was the darkest, dark green in colour. And now we can see it really has been, yeah, singed. It's a bit of a shame, really. It is more sort of a biofuel distilling type variety. Basically, again, just in here to see what it does. Right, next variety along the path is a Northern Ireland variety, or an Irish variety. This is called Dunmore. Now, it is an alchemy cross with lion. It is similar in some ways to the variety Avatar that we've been growing down here very successfully. That is a Istabraq cross with lion. Ear development looks good so far. I mean, it has got nice big ears. It is flowering at the moment, and this is the one which has sort of caught my eye. It has caught my eye. Out of all the varieties we've got in the ground here, the Dunmore actually leaps out at you when you look at it. It's got big flag leaves, big ears. Let's hope it's got the yield to go with it. Right, next door to the Dunmore, which is just where we've been, we have the soft version of Santiago. This is Evolution. It's in a candidate variety at the moment. It's a soft group 4, very high yielding, 1% higher yielding than Santiago currently. It's going to be interesting to see how it yields, and it's going to be interesting to see what its specific weight is. It's got phenomenal spikelet fertility, but on the downside it's got a low specific weight. I'm going to be interested to see how this one does. I don't know if it's going to be a variety for the neck of the woods. It's probably more an Eastern Counties, Midlands type. Don't know if it's going to go down here, but we'll see. See how it shapes up. Next door to the Evolution, we're coming back into an older variety. This is one of my favourite varieties. This is Istabraq. It's always done very well in the late drilling slot. I think people have made the error in the past trying to drill it too early, and then they wonder why it looks horrible and dirty all through the following year because it's full of septoria. It does like the late drilling slot. I prefer to put this variety in after maize or after potatoes. It's got a phenomenal bushel weight, very high yielding in that position, and yeah, incredibly clean at the moment. No, or virtually no disease in it. There's a little bit of yeah, a little bit of septoria down the bottom, but generally the crop is clean, top to bottom. And again, it's going to be interesting to see how this one shapes up. It has done very well down here in the past. As I say, it's my preferred variety after maize and spuds. It's looking very good. And then we've got its son of Istabraq. Again, we were talking just now about Dunmore being a lion cross with alchemy. Well, this here is Avatar. This was a top yielding variety we had down here last year and the year before, both at Bude and down here at Tregony, and it's looking phenomenally good wherever I've got it drilled. So it's a slightly better disease profile than the Istabraq next door, and it does suit the heavier ground and the earlier drilling slot slightly better. So again, we'll see if the Avatar is top dog again this year, or if it gets bumped off its position. Right, this variety is Myriad. It's quite noticeable by its very broad chord flag leaves. It is that's one of its sort of outstanding features. It's got this massive flag leaf on it. It is a Nijinsky cross. It's currently lying in about second place on the list, just behind Leeds. I mean, we're talking fractions here, 1% if that. And I think, you know, whereas Leeds is a Robigus cross with Istabraq, this is a Nijinsky cross. It'll be interesting to see where we go with this one. It's got, yeah, it's pretty good in terms of bushel weight. It's slightly better than Revelation. It's a bit earlier to ripen than a lot of these new varieties which are coming out, which seem to be pushing, you know, +4. Whereas this is a +2, so it's in the same league as Horatio next door. So, you know, the fact that it's come through as a late drilled variety, that's encouraging, because it's good to know that we can get it in, and obviously with this massive flag leaf, that's got to help it in some way. And it's clean at the moment, so although we haven't had the pressure, but that's encouraging to see. So here we've got Horatio. Horatio is the next one down, and yeah, it did fairly well last year. It was the second highest yielding variety in the plots down here, or joint second, should I say. It's going to be interesting to see again. Drilled in February or late February. It's going to be interesting to see how we do with ears, ripening of the ears, whether we got blind sights or not. Looking at it at the moment, it's difficult to say. You got an ear like this one here. That quite clearly is translucent in places. So whether that ear is going to come to anything is going to be interesting. So, as I say, it's one of the reasons we put all these varieties in this plot, is to see what happens. They're really being pushed and pulled and sorted out, so we'll see what happens. And then finally, the last variety we got is another candidate variety. We've only got a 6-meter swath of this one, whereas all these others are 12. And the reason being we didn't have enough seed, unfortunately. So we've got 6 meters by 50. This is Revelation, and this is Alchemy crossed with Clare, crossed with Shepherd. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one looks. It does look good so far, but it's a later maturing variety again, much later than Myriad. But another one to watch. So that wraps it up. We've got Duxford all around the outside. To be fair, the Duxford's not looking too bad either. And we'll take a mean on the yield on this. Again, we are seeing a few issues in the Duxford with blind eyes, blind ears. Let's see here, on this little ear here, you can see it's got some blind, what looks like blind sights on it. Translucent. That one there, exactly the same. So it'll be, yeah, this is going to be an interesting, interesting harvest, I think. And we'll see what happens.